Hey there, friends. Welcome to a very special post-race edition of the Pre-Ride Show. We're here on the grounds at the Gravel and Whine event in late January, one of the first races of the whole gravel season, and I get a chance to spend a few minutes with none other than Floyd Landis. Floyd, my man, thanks so much for taking the time. What's going on? How you feeling?
I'm tired now. It was a hard bike ride. Yeah, it was good for me. I used to live a couple miles from here. And
this is kind of a homecoming for you of sorts.
10 years since I've ridden out here, and I enjoyed it.
Do you know, you obviously still know the area really well. This was all fertile training ground for you at some point?
Yeah, most of these roads I know from back a long time ago, different lifetime. But yeah, it was good. I really enjoyed it. I think everyone did. It was a great course.
Let's talk about the brand first, because man, Floyd's is everywhere. And I know we're focused on our world, but it just seems like the Floyd's of Leadville brand has picked up. It's nationwide. We're expanding this. And how's it going? How's that feel to be able to launch that and look back on the success that you've had so far? And it's got to feel really good.
Yeah, it's good. You know, I never started a business before, but there's a lot of similarities between that and trying to be a bike racer. You know, there's extreme ups and downs, and it's been, I guess, 5-6 years now we've been doing it, and it's good. Yeah, we got through COVID okay. It was a change for everybody, I think. And
what I noticed too is that you seem to be on the cutting edge of launching really new, innovative products too. How does that come about, and how big are you in that process?
So we're still small enough that I'm hands-on with most things, and we try to pay attention to what's happening within the industry. And there's always regulatory things that kind of limit some things we can do and some things we can't. But yeah, we're trying to make the most of it. It's a product that helps a lot of people, and
sure does.
Yeah, we're trying to help people.
Is some of that regulatory stuff starting to lift? Are people becoming more aware of the impacts and the benefits that CBD can have?
Yeah, I think that most people have heard of it. I don't know how many of them have tried it, but I think that a lot of it we relied on sort of word of mouth of people telling their friends, I use this and it helped, because a lot of the regulatory problems that we have or hurdles that we have are just advertising and marketing, things like that.
Okay.
There's limits to what we can do with internet marketing. Yeah. Not necessarily a regulatory issue on that side, but just policies with Google and Facebook and things like that. So
it's more a level of, I don't know if ignorance is the right word, but it just seems like people just don't fully understand the difference between certain things and what it gets compared to versus what it is in terms of its actual properties and the benefits it provides the body. Yeah,
part of that is a result of just a lot of hype around it, and a lot of people making claims that are completely unsubstantiated. I mean, it's not magic. It does help people their quality of life, but it's not. I mean, there's people making claims that are clearly just made up out of thin air, and that's not helpful. But we just try to get people to try it and say, look, can you replace whatever you're using for managing pain, Advil or something like that, or anxiety? It helps people with anxiety as well, and just get people to try it. It doesn't help everybody, but I think a substantial amount of people benefit from it.
Well, you've got a broad suite of products that's really fantastic, man. Keep it up. Let's talk about racing, man. I know that you're dabbling back in the racing world now. You've obviously been training and putting the time in. We saw you down in Kansas, and I remember going by you, and you're like, oh, it was one of these meddling kids sort of approach of like, can't believe how fast these guys are. You did really well today, man, so obviously you've been putting in the time.
Yeah, I've been riding more. There was a period of time where I kind of didn't want to go to bike races for a lot of different reasons. Just for my head, it wasn't great, but it's good now. And I remember why I enjoyed it in the first place. It's a good group of people. You find, all kinds of people at bike races.
And this genre too, I think, attracts a little different vibe, right? It's more, we're just out in the open, having fun.
I think it's what cycling was missing. I would always look at triathlon and say, this is a method that's great. Everyone starts together. Some people in the front really care about the race. They race. Everyone else says they did the ride. It's not like someone has to figure out what a Cat 4 is or a Cat. I mean, the whole thing was confusing if you weren't a hardcore cyclist. But this is good. You can say, hey, let's go do the bike ride and just ride your bike.
Yeah. And then so now the big announcement, this is the big unveiling today, this cool new Floyd's of Leadville team. I mean, what's that all? You got some powerhouse athletes on there and going to have a big splash. But what I think is cool is athletes across a diverse spectrum. We're not just focused on the pointy end here. We're bringing some new younger riders in the sport. We've got some older, more established riders like Tinker Juarez is on your roster. How did this all come to be at the beginning? Like, who brought it up to you and what made you say, yeah, this is a really good idea?
We were trying to figure out how to be part of it without, a team thing in this sort of environment doesn't really make complete sense because the race is sort of an individual style of competition. But we thought, let's put together a bunch of people that are going to be doing these races and call it a team and support them and give us a reason to be at the races and be part of it and just be part of helping some young up-and-coming guys and show them or make connections with them, with older guys like Tinker and me and people that have been through things. And it's, I mean, for me, it's kind of a, I don't know, doesn't mean to be heartwarming about it, but like I enjoy it.
It is.
Feels good.
No, it is heartwarming.
It feels good.
It's authentic. It
matters to me. It's good.
Yeah, there's an altruistic element to it, I think, too.
There
that
is.
says
It's good. It's good for marketing, so that not to pretend that doesn't exist, but I mean, there's more to it. I enjoy it.
Yeah. How big of a schedule are you yourself going to race?
I'll do a couple. I don't know. I go through the same sort of experience that I always remember now, having not done it for a long time, where an hour into it I regret having done it, and then like,
why am I here? Why am I here?
Why I hate myself, and then at the end I'm relieved that it's over, and then a couple hours later I forget that I hated it, and then probably do it again. So I don't know. I enjoy doing it, so I'll do some rides this year.
But I think too, and tell me if I'm wrong, you got to know that people love seeing you at the events. They appreciate you.
It's been nice. People are nice.
Yeah, really, and it's just like having you there and knowing that the brand is supporting it. And
it's
at a time when the bike industry is doing this, it's hard enough to get bike parts and bike products. Here's Floyd's out there at virtually every event, and keeping their name out there, and we've got the namesake of the brand lining up with everybody and going out there and giving it hell.
Yeah, it's good. I don't think anyone ever envisioned the things that the cycling industry itself has to deal with. Overwhelming, but hopefully it gets resolved, because there are a lot of people I think that got into cycling because it's fun to do, and all of a sudden they were home for the year and a half.
Yeah.
There's no cars on the road, so that was nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the cycling industry comes out stronger for it for sure. But right now they're definitely struggling with just supply chain. That's the word everyone keeps repeating. Don't know what it is, but apparently that's the problem.
Apparently, I just heard these ships that are stocked up out off the shore. Apparently, we can swim out there. All our stuff is there.
Yeah.
Team doing a big training camp or anything like that? What do you guys got planned for the next couple months?
So the guys, a couple of the riders did this event, and the others are going to come out for the next week and a half or so out here, this area, do some bike riding. It's great. Yeah, it's a good place to do it. There's good hills. You can get out of town pretty quickly. And yeah, we know the roads, so introduce them to this place.
That's awesome. I know it's going to make a big impact on the sport. I know it's awesome that you're behind it and continuing to push it. So, man, best of luck to you in the season. And I can't wait to see you out there. It's always fun when we get to hang and just seeing you at races. And I know you're out there, enjoying it with everybody. And I can speak for, as a fan and also as a, working on the event promotion side, it's fantastic having you there and just, keeping the sport and keeping us, helping us grow.
Thanks, man. Means a lot. Thank you.
Thanks for tuning into this episode of the Pre-Ride Show. Floyd Landis, keep an eye for him and that's powerful Floyd's of Leadville team that's going to be at all the big races, all the small races, having fun and making the expo look really, really good. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you, guys.